Welcome, my friends. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success effortlessly while others struggle no matter how hard they try? The secret lies not in luck, talent, or circumstances. It lies in the thoughts they feed their minds every single day. What you think, you become. Every dream, every fear, every limitation, and every breakthrough begins first as a thought. Your mind is a garden, and the seeds you plant today will grow into the reality you live tomorrow. If you want to change your life, the journey begins inside your own mind. The seed of thought. Every action in your life begins with a thought. Just like a mighty tree comes from a tiny seed, and every habit, decision, and destiny begins with what you first imagine in your mind. If you think of yourself as strong and capable, that thought will slowly shape your actions and help you grow stronger. But if you think you are weak, that thought will limit you even before you try. Because the mind is like a garden, where the seeds are the thoughts we allow inside. If you plant positive seeds like hope, confidence, and love, your life will blossom with happiness and growth. But if you allow negative seeds like fear, doubt, and anger, they too will grow, and soon your life will reflect them. And the amazing truth is that you always have the power to choose what kind of seeds you plant. Because every single day you are planting thoughts in your mind, some that will grow quickly and some that will take years, but eventually every thought becomes your reality, which is why it is said, guard your thoughts because they decide the direction of your life. Mind is a garden. Your mind is like fertile soil, always ready to grow whatever you plant inside it, and just like a farmer carefully chooses the seeds he wants to sow, you too are constantly planting seeds in the form of thoughts. If you fill your mind with positive thoughts like kindness, hope, gratitude, and belief, then with time these seeds will grow into peace, confidence, and success. But if you allow negative thoughts like anger, fear, jealousy, and doubt to enter your mind, they will also grow, and soon your life will feel heavy and full of struggle because a garden never stays empty and something will always grow. Which means that if you don't take care of your mind, the weeds of negativity will automatically spread, and that is why it is so important to be conscious of your thoughts since they silently shape your future. And just like a farmer removes weeds and waters his plants daily, you also need to remove negative thinking and nurture positive thoughts every single day, because the beauty of the mind is that it has unlimited capacity, and no matter how many negative seeds were planted in the past, you can always start planting new, healthy seeds today. And with patience, consistency, and care, your inner garden can transform into a place of strength, peace, and happiness. Energy follows focus. Whatever you constantly think about, whether good or bad, slowly becomes your reality, because your energy always flows where your attention goes. And this is one of the simplest yet most powerful truths of life. When you focus on problems, your mind becomes heavy with stress and worry, and you start noticing even more difficulties around you. But when you focus on solutions, hope, and possibilities, your energy rises and you begin to see opportunities that were always there but hidden from your distracted mind. Because focus acts like sunlight through a magnifying glass, concentrating energy in one direction and creating power strong enough to burn through obstacles. And in the same way, if you keep thinking about your goals, dreams, and positive actions, your energy naturally aligns to help you move toward them. But if your attention is scattered on fear, doubt, and negativity, then your energy gets drained and you feel stuck. So the quality of your life depends on where you choose to place your attention every day. And the more you practice focusing on what truly matters, the more powerful, purposeful, and fulfilled your life becomes. Belief shapes behavior. If you believe you are strong, you naturally act strong. And if you believe you are weak, you unconsciously limit yourself. Because belief is the invisible force that silently directs your behavior and shapes your entire life. Your actions, your choices, and even your confidence are not always determined by reality, but by the story you keep telling yourself in your mind. So when you hold empowering beliefs like, I can do this, or I am capable, your behavior becomes bold, your decisions become stronger, and you step into opportunities with courage. But when you carry limiting beliefs such as, I'm not good enough, or I will fail, you hesitate, avoid risks, and hold yourself back even when success is within reach. And the truth is that your belief system works like an internal compass, guiding you either toward growth or toward fear, which is why changing your belief can completely change your behavior and eventually your destiny. Because when you start believing in your strength, your actions automatically align with that belief, and life begins to open doors you never thought were possible. The law of repetition. Repeated thoughts slowly turn into habits, and habits build the foundation of your character because whatever you repeatedly say to yourself, you eventually become, and this is why repetition is one of the most powerful forces in shaping a human life. Every time you think a thought, you are carving a small pathway in your mind. And when that thought is repeated again and again, the pathway becomes deeper until it turns into a highway. And that is how habits are formed, whether good or bad. So if you constantly repeat negative phrases like, "I can't do this," or "I am not worthy," those thoughts will settle into your mind and create a habit of doubt and fear. But if you keep affirming positive words such as, "I am capable," "I am strong," or "I will succeed," your brain begins to accept them as truth, and your behavior starts to reflect them naturally. Which is why successful people train their minds with repeated focus, affirmations, and disciplined practice because they understand that repetition turns thoughts into actions, actions into habits, and habits into the character that ultimately defines destiny. The inner world creates outer world. Your outer circumstances are nothing but a reflection of your inner thoughts because the world you experience on the outside is deeply connected to the state of your mind on the inside. And this is why a peaceful mind naturally creates a peaceful life, while a restless, negative mind attracts struggle and chaos. If your inner world is filled with constant worry, anger, or self-doubt, then no matter how beautiful your surroundings may look, you will still feel dissatisfied and trapped. But when your inner world is filled with gratitude, calmness, and positive vision, even simple situations in life feel joyful and fulfilling. Because the truth is that you cannot always control what happens outside, but you can always control how you think, feel, and respond inside. And when you nurture peace, clarity, and strength within, your words, actions, and relationships begin to radiate that same energy outward, eventually shaping your outer reality. Which means if you truly want to change your life, you must first begin with your thoughts. For your inner world is the blueprint from which your outer world is built. Self-talk matters. Every single day you talk to yourself more than you talk to anyone else, and the words you repeat in your mind shape your emotions, decisions, and confidence. Because positive self-talk has the power to build you up, while negative self-talk slowly tears you down. When you tell yourself, "I can handle this," "I am capable," or "I am worthy," you fuel your inner strength and naturally act with more courage. But when you keep saying, "I'm not good enough," "I will fail," or "I can't do this," you weaken your confidence before you even begin. And the truth is that your mind listens carefully to every word you say to yourself, whether out loud or silently, and it starts believing those words as reality, which is why successful and happy people are very careful about their inner dialogue, training themselves to replace criticism with encouragement and doubt with faith, because in the long run, it is not the voice of others but the voice inside you that decides how far you can go. And when your self-talk becomes positive, supportive, and empowering, your life begins to reflect the same positivity in everything you do. Fear versus faith. Fear is simply faith pointed in the wrong direction because both fear and faith are products of your imagination, one believing in the worst and the other believing in the best, and the thoughts you choose between the two decide the quality of your life. When you constantly think fearful thoughts, imagining failure, loss, or rejection, your body reacts with stress, your confidence shrinks, and you unconsciously attract situations that match that fear. But when you choose to think with faith, picturing growth, success, and strength, your mind fills with courage, your actions become bolder, and life begins to open new doors for you, because faith tells you that even if the road is uncertain, you will find a way forward, while fear convinces you to stop before you even start. And the truth is that fear and faith cannot live together in the same space. One will always push the other out. So when you train your mind to choose faith over fear, you not only attract courage, but also create the strength to rise above challenges and move confidently toward your dreams. Visualization power. When you clearly imagine the life you want, your subconscious mind begins to work quietly towards making it real, because the brain does not fully distinguish between a deeply imagined picture and an actual experience, And this is why athletes, leaders, and creators across the world use visualization daily to strengthen their performance and shape their future. When an athlete closes his eyes and sees himself crossing the finish line, his body starts preparing for that victory. When a leader imagines confidently delivering a powerful speech, his mind and voice naturally align to make it happen. And when a creator envisions the details of a painting, invention, or idea, the subconscious begins to gather focus, inspiration, and energy to bring it to life, which shows that visualization is not daydreaming, but a form of mental rehearsal that plants the image of success so strongly in the mind that your actions, decisions, and habits start moving in that direction. And the more clearly and consistently you practice it, the more your outer reality begins to mirror the vision you hold inside. The magnet of the mind. Your thoughts act like a powerful magnet, constantly attracting people, situations, and opportunities that match your dominant way of thinking, which means that what you hold most often in your mind eventually finds its way into your life. If your thoughts are filled with positivity, gratitude, and growth, you naturally draw positive people and uplifting opportunities toward you. But if your thoughts are filled with doubt, anger, or negativity, you begin to notice and attract circumstances that reinforce those feelings because the energy you carry within is silently communicated to the world around you, shaping the responses you receive and the doors that open or close before you. And this is why some people seem to always get lucky while others constantly struggle. It is not chance, but the magnet of their mind aligning with what they think and believe most strongly. So when you choose to focus on success, kindness, and possibilities, you charge your inner magnet with the power to pull similar experiences into your life. And over time, the reality you live becomes a mirror of the energy you consistently project. Gratitude thinking. When you focus on what you already have instead of what you lack, you naturally attract more abundance into your life, because gratitude is the bridge between thought and reality, turning ordinary moments into blessings and scarcity into fullness. When you wake up and feel thankful for your health, your family, or even the simple gift of a new day, your mind shifts from complaining to appreciating, and that shift in perspective changes the energy you send out into the world, drawing in more reasons to be grateful. While on the other hand, when you constantly focus on what is missing, you feed a cycle of dissatisfaction and attract more emptiness into your life, which is why truly happy and successful people practice gratitude daily, writing down or silently repeating the things they value, because this simple act not only brings peace to the heart, but also programs the mind to notice opportunities and blessings that were always there but hidden behind negative thinking. And the more gratitude you practice, the more life responds by giving you experiences, relationships, and achievements that match your thankful spirit. Limiting beliefs hold you back. Thoughts like, I can't, I'm not good enough, or I'll fail may seem small at first, but if you keep repeating them, they slowly turn into self-fulfilling prophecies that shape your reality, because your mind begins to believe these doubts as truth and your actions start reflecting them. When you carry such limiting beliefs, you hesitate to take risks, you avoid opportunities, and you settle for less than what you deserve, not because you are incapable, but because your inner voice keeps holding you back. Yet the truth is that these beliefs are not facts. They are simply thoughts that have been repeated too often, and just like they were learned, they can also be unlearned, which means that by questioning them, replacing them with empowering thoughts, and taking small steps forward, you can break free from the invisible walls created in your mind. Because once you stop feeding these limiting beliefs, you unlock the strength, creativity, and courage that were always within you, waiting to shape a much bigger and brighter future. Dreaming big is essential. Small thoughts create small lives because when you limit your vision to what feels safe or comfortable, you also limit the possibilities that life can offer you. But when you allow yourself to think big, to dream beyond your current situation, and to imagine a life of growth, creativity, and greatness, you open doors that would have otherwise remained closed. Big dreams push you to expand your skills, challenge your comfort zone, and discover strengths you didn't even know you had. And while small thinking keeps you stuck in fear of failure, big thinking gives you the courage to attempt what others believe is impossible, which is why every great invention, movement, or achievement in history began as someone's bold dream, first laughed at by others and later celebrated by the world. And the truth is that your mind has no boundaries except the ones you place on it. So when you choose to think bigger, you give yourself permission to create a life far greater than the one you are currently living. Because dreaming big is not about arrogance. It is about honoring your true potential. Emotion fuels thought. A thought combined with strong emotion becomes 10 times more powerful, because emotion is the energy that gives thought its intensity and direction. When a thought is charged with anger, it can destroy peace, relationships, and even entire lives. But when that same thought is fueled by love, it has the power to heal, to create, and to inspire growth. And this is why emotions are not just feelings, but forces that shape how your thoughts manifest in the real world. Because an idea without emotion often fades away, but an idea fueled with passion and excitement becomes a mission that drives you forward. If you think of someone who achieves greatness, you will always find that behind their vision was a strong emotional fire, whether it was love for their family, desire for freedom, or passion for change. Because emotion gives persistence when logic says stop and strength when challenges feel overwhelming. Which means if you want your thoughts to transform into reality, you must connect them with emotions that uplift, inspire, and push you to keep going, since it is emotion that turns ordinary thinking into extraordinary action. The role of focused attention. Scattered thoughts are like scattered sunlight, warm but unable to ignite anything, while focused thoughts are like a magnifying glass concentrating the sun's rays to create fire. And this is why the role of focused attention in life is so powerful, because when your mind jumps from one worry to another or one desire to another, your energy leaks in all directions, leaving you tired but without progress. Yet the moment you learn to bring your attention fully on one idea, one goal, or one problem, your inner power gathers like a laser beam capable of cutting through obstacles, solving complex challenges, and producing creativity that surprises even you. All great breakthroughs, inventions, and lasting changes in history came from people who gave their undivided attention to one pursuit for years, proving that genius is not about having hundreds of ideas, but about sticking to one idea long enough for it to bear fruit. And in your own life, if you want growth, mastery, or transformation, you must train your mind to silence distractions and anchor its focus, because attention is the currency of creation, and where you spend it consistently decides what you will build, break, or become. Environment shapes thoughts. Your mind is not an isolated island. It is like a sponge constantly absorbing from the environment around you, and whether you realize it or not, the people you spend time with, the conversations you hear, the books you read, the shows you watch, and even the places you sit in quietly feed your inner world with seeds of thought that eventually grow into actions and habits. Which is why if you are surrounded by negativity, complaints, and fear, those patterns slowly seep into your thinking and shape your reality without your permission. But if you consciously choose uplifting company, inspiring mentors, peaceful spaces, and media that nourishes wisdom and creativity, your thoughts become clearer, stronger, and more aligned with growth. Great leaders and achievers across history have been mindful of their environments, knowing that energy is contagious and that the right surroundings can either limit you or lift you. So the question becomes simple yet life-changing. Are you placing yourself in environments that inspire the best in you, or ones that drain you? Because in the end, the soil you grow in determines the fruit you bear. Thoughts influence health. Your thoughts don't just shape your emotions and actions, they deeply influence your physical health as well. Because the mind and body are always connected in ways we often underestimate. When you think positively, your body responds by lowering stress hormones, strengthening your immune system, improving blood circulation, and even speeding up natural healing, which is why people who cultivate hope, optimism, and inner calm often recover faster and live longer, healthier lives. But on the other hand, when your mind is trapped in constant fear, worry, and negativity, your body carries that burden too. It produces more stress, weakens immunity, and becomes more vulnerable to illness, showing us that disease is not just physical but often born in the patterns of our thinking. And science now confirms what wisdom traditions have always said, that a peaceful and positive mind creates a healthier body, reminding us that every healthy thought we choose today is like medicine for our tomorrow. Success begins in the mind. Every great achievement begins first as a vision in the mind because every millionaire, artist, and leader first imagined their success long before it became reality. And this mental picture acts as a blueprint that guides every decision, action, and habit toward its fulfillment. When someone sees themselves achieving a goal, whether it's financial freedom, creative mastery, or leadership excellence, their thoughts start shaping choices, actions, and energy to align with that vision. While those who fail to imagine their desired future often drift through life without direction, reacting to circumstances instead of creating them, which shows that the mind is the starting point of all success, and by clearly envisioning the life you want, reinforcing it with belief, focus, and persistence, you program your subconscious to work in harmony with your conscious efforts, turning imagination into reality. Because what you first see in your mind, you are capable of bringing into your world. You can reprogram your mind. Your mind is not fixed, it is incredibly adaptable, which means that through consistent practices like affirmations, meditation, and self-awareness, you can replace toxic, limiting thoughts with empowering ones that support growth and happiness, because every thought you feed repeatedly strengthens a pathway in your brain, and just as negative patterns can take root over time, positive patterns can also be built with conscious effort. When you affirm your strengths, visualize your goals, and remain mindful of the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind, you gradually retrain your subconscious to believe in possibility, courage, and abundance, which directly changes your behavior, your decisions, and the quality of your life. And the beauty of this process is that no matter what you experienced in the past, you have the power to consciously rewire your thinking today, transforming doubt into confidence, fear into faith, and limitation into freedom. Because every thought you choose to nurture becomes a seed for the new reality you wish to create. Final truth: you are not separate from your thoughts. In fact, you are the product of them, because every belief, every idea, and every image you hold in your mind gradually shapes your emotions, your actions, your habits, and ultimately the life you live. Which means that if you want to change your reality, the most powerful place to start is within your own mind, by consciously choosing thoughts that empower, uplift, and inspire you, rather than those that limit or discourage you. Because when you begin to think with clarity, positivity, and purpose, your decisions align with that thinking. Your energy attracts opportunities, and your actions naturally follow the path of growth and fulfillment. And the profound truth is that no external circumstances can stop you once your inner world is aligned with the life you desire. So every change, every success, and every breakthrough begins with the simple yet transformative choice to change your thinking, because as your thoughts go, so goes your life. Remember, the life you live tomorrow is created by the thoughts you choose today. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, and by nurturing positive, empowering, and focused thoughts, you can transform every area of your life: your health, your relationships, your success, and your happiness. So start paying attention to what you think, guard your mind, and plant seeds that grow into the life you truly desire. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel Bite-Size Book English for more powerful insights to help you grow every single day. And thank you for listening.